In this video, we will introduce creating an Android project. The Android Development Tools ADT is an extension to the Eclipse IDE that supports the creation and debugging of Android applications. Using the ADT, you will be able to do the following in Eclipse: create new Android application projects, access the tools for accessing your Android emulators and devices, compile and debug Android applications, export Android applications into Android packages, and create digital certificates for code signing your Android packages. Let's look at a basic example. We can click New in the toolbar, and in the window that appears, open the Android folder and select Android Application Project. An Android project contains all the files that comprise the source code for your Android app. The Android SDK tools make it easy to start a new Android project with a set of default project directories and files. We're going to click Next. Now we're going to fill in the form. The application name is the app name that appears to users. For this project, we're going to use My First App. Notice how it removes the spaces for the project name and the package name. The project name is the name of your project directory and the name visible in Eclipse. The package name is the package namespace for our app, following the same rules as packages in the Java programming language. Our package name must be unique across all packages installed on the Android system. For this reason, it is generally best if we use a name that begins with the reverse domain name of our organization or publisher entity. For this project, we can use something like com example my first app. However, we can't publish our app in Google Play using the com example namespace. Okay, here we see minimum required SDK, which is the lowest version of Android that our app supports, indicated using the API level. To support as many devices as possible, we should set this to the lowest version available that allows our app to provide its core feature set. If any feature of our app is possible only on newer versions of Android and it's not critical to the app's core feature set, we can enable the feature only when running on the versions that support it. So we leave this to the default value for this project. The target SDK indicates that the highest version of Android with which we have tested our application. As new versions of Android become available, we should test our app on the new version and update this value to match the latest API level in order to take advantage of new platform features. Compile with is the platform version against which we will compile our app. By default, this is set to the latest version of Android available in our SDK. And we can still build our app to support older versions, but setting the build target to the latest version allows us to enable new features and optimize our app for a greater user experience on the latest devices. The theme specifies the Android UI style for our app. We can just leave this alone for now. So we're going to click on Next, and this is a screen to further configure the project. With a custom launcher, we can create a default activity, where to create the project. We will leave it as it is. Now the next screen can help us create a launcher icon for our app. We can customize an icon in several ways, and the tool generates an icon for all screen densities. Before we publish our app, we need to be sure that our icon meets the specifications defined in the iconography design guide. For now, we're going to leave it as it is and select Next. We're going to have a blank activity for this project. We're going to select Next. And we're going to leave all the activity details in their default state and click Finish. So now we see here that we have our first Android app set up with some default files, and we're ready to begin building our apps. This concludes our discussion of creating an Android project.